I'm Alvin. I'm my mom's only son. My dad left us when I was 4. I didn't know what really happened until I was 7. She always told me he was just out to get milk. It never occurred to me that going to the store to get milk shouldn't take years. Mom was a bit weird, I guess. She was an artist, and so she was peculiar. But she was cool, which I liked. She let me do whatever made me happy, and what really made me happy was playing games all the time. She even set up a nice gaming room for me in the basement. What I loved most was playing NBA 2K21. I was really good at it, even beat a couple pros once. But my love for the sport ended on the screen. In real life, I could hardly throw a ball in the right direction. I started streaming games a couple years ago. I wanted to be like those cool guys on WooTube and Switch who have millions of subscribers. But on my first stream, one of my classmates found my channel. It was Dirk, and he was no big fan of mine. He made that clear enough when he spammed me with comments about how I was a desperate loser nerd who had no life. Dirk linked my profile to everyone at school, and he made sure everyone knew I had a measly 2 subscribers. And one of them was my mom. People laughed at me for that, and they called me a loser. I wish I was sharp enough to have come up with some sort of comeback, but I wasn't. When people shouted loser at me, I just looked down at my shoes. Or worse, I would awkwardly smile. It would be hours later when I'd think of a great clapback like, "I didn't think you'd give up your title that easily, but thanks." Or, "I've been called worse things by far more important people than you, but nice try." Honestly, sometimes I would think they were right. Maybe I was a loser. Dirk was my opposite. He was extremely popular. He had girls hanging off him like monkeys on a banana tree. And as the basketball captain, he was dating pretty much the whole cheerleading squad at one point. He was cheating on all of them, and I think they all knew, and they didn't mind. Meanwhile, Dirk made sure no girl touched me with a 10-foot pole. He made sure to spread my rep that I was a nobody who spent my days gaming in my mom's basement. One day, my sad life got even sadder. Mom just up and disappeared. No explanations, no letter. She just went and never told me when she'd be back. To be fair, she'd done that before. She'd meet a new boyfriend and she'd disappear. Usually it was only for a few days. But this time, she was gone for months. I had no money, food was running out, and I was late to pay my school fees. So I had no choice but to look for a job, and the only place that was hiring was the restaurant that Dirk's mom owned. Dirk's mom was a nightmare, just like her son, but the hours weren't too bad, and the other staff were very helpful. They treated me like their little brother, and I was earning steady cash. But whenever Dirk was around, it was hell. He would order me around as if I was his maid. And if I so much as said no to any of his commands, he'd tell me he'd have his mom fire me. One night, while I was preparing to close up by taking the garbage out back, I heard footsteps coming down the alley. "Help! Help! You have to help me!" "What? What's happening?" My heart began to race, 'cause she was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. But then, another one of her came racing towards me. I thought I was seeing double, and then I realized they were identical twins. "Kiss me! Kiss us now!" I had no time to think. They were coming closer and closer. Both girls had me in their arms before I could even answer, and both pairs of lips met mine. Just as they kissed me, another pair of heads peeped out of the corner, and they were twin boys. When they saw me kissing the girls, they got so mad. They tried to tear the girls away from me, but the girls pushed them away. "I told you, I'm taken. You have to call off the engagement. Think of the scandal. Yeah, get away from us." The boys seemed ready to protest, but one of the girls took out pepper spray, and the boy twins scarped like their lives depended on it. I had never been so confused in my life. But then came a voice that confused me even more. "Aw, girls, there you are." "Oh, Alvin, sweetheart, what are you doing out here so late? No wonder I couldn't find you at home." It was Mom. "I see you've met your new stepsisters, Julia and Daphne." My jaw dropped. I started desperately wiping my lips, and the twins laughed. "Oh, get over yourself. We're great kissers." "What happened?" "Oh, funny story. Those guys our uncle forced us to get engaged to, our little brother just solved our problem. Let's just say we won't be seeing them again anytime soon." Well, that's my boy. Aw, here he is. A tall man wearing a cowboy hat appeared from the street. This is Jim, my new husband. Jim, this is my son I told you about, Alvin. See, Alvin, Jim and I wanted girls, and I didn't want to go through the whole pregnancy thing again, so we decided we'd adopt the twins. They had a terrible family, forced them to get engaged to those boys for money, so we helped them escape, and now they're your sisters. So, you adopted girls that are older than me? It was a strange thing to have a family reunion in an alley, so I was only glad when we finally all went home. As soon as we got home, the twins took me aside and took photos with me. They posted a snap with the caption, #futurehusband. And seconds after they did, I got at least 200 notifications. That was how I found out that Daphne and Julia were famous influencers. And because of their fame, the fact that they announced I was their fiancé, I became famous too. All of the twins' fans became my fans, and they started hounding me in public, snapping pics of me and saying how they wish they could date me. It just so happened that during one of those instances, Dirk was walking past. He laughed out loud. Am I hearing this right, or have I gone nuts? You want to take a picture with that? That loser? Go away, weird girl. Hey, you, Alvin, you have some explaining to do. You walked out on your shift. Mom's been looking for you for days, and I need my car cleaned pronto. Oh, and here's my homework. Do it for me. And if I don't? Well, then I'll get you fired, of course. Who cares? I don't. Dirk wasn't used to me having confidence. He likes people he can boss around and manipulate. So when I talked back to him, this riled him up. Girls were watching us, and I guess he felt the need to prove that he was a man. All right, let's play ball, you and me. If I win, you do whatever I say. And if I win, it'll never happen. But if I do, I get to be basketball captain, and you sell me your pizza joint for $1. Dirk laughed in my face. He was arrogant. He knew I would never win against him, so it was an easy bet for him to take. What he didn't know was that easy bets are too good to be true. And if it's too good to be true, it's not. Before Dirk could even see what was happening, I swatted the ball out of his hands, dribbled it, and faded away as I let the ball fly. The ball went on a perfect parabolic flight towards the ring, and swoosh, nothing but net. The girls erupted with applause. My twin fiancés came running and peppered my cheeks with kisses. Dirk was so confused, so stunned, he couldn't speak. What? I guess you should never judge a book by its cover, huh? Oh, these are my future wives, by the way. I'll expect a deed to your pizza joint by tomorrow. Cool? My girls got all that on video, and if you don't make good on your promise, I'll have to sue. I bought Dirk's pizza place for $1. I reopened and rebranded the place. It did extremely well. I gave everyone who worked there a raise. Dirk had to work for me so his family wouldn't starve. I even hired his mom as our cleaner, and I made sure they were both always on toilet duty. As agreed, Dirk quit being the basketball captain, and I replaced him. Everyone on the team was so impressed when they saw the video of me beating Dirk in less than 10 seconds. The cheerleader squad broke up with Dirk, and now they were begging for me to date them. Unfortunately for them, I'm 100% loyal to my twin girlfriends. Our team got as far as nationals while I was the captain. It's the furthest our school had gone in 20 years, so I was proud of that. In our last game, a talent scout approached me, and I was given amazing news. They wanted to draft me in the NBA. My world spun. Years ago, I was only playing the game in my mom's basement, and now I was going to be playing it for real. The day I got drafted, Daphne, Julia, and I got married. It was a simple ceremony, but it was beautiful. We held it in a forest, and my brides were breathtaking. Afterwards, we all went to my pizza place to celebrate, and as Dirk swept the floors and looked on with envy at the perfect life I had, I kissed my new brides and thanked them for coming into my life.